Right, let's crack on with it. Welcome to the Manchester is Blue show, pal. I noticed you've done a few bits on podcasts as well, so I'm surprised we've not spoken before this. You excited tonight?
Yeah, I think it should be interesting to see how it pans out. Really, yeah.
It's a funny one, this, isn't it? Because my view of playing Burnley, I think everyone's view of playing Burnley is it's going to be a tough game, whether you like it or not, whatever's going to happen. I see Burnley as a team that really prides themselves on athleticism, fitness. You know, they always seem to have extra energy in the bank. You know, they're always going to be up against it. How do you think the last couple of months of not playing regular football will affect you tonight? Because this is your first game tonight, isn't it? Your first game back.
Yeah, this is first game, so I think it's a worry at the minute because we've already got quite a small squad anyway. Got a few injuries, a few players who are out of contract, and kind of the future up in the air a bit. So yeah, I think we're light in numbers really, and I'm obviously aware that City are probably not the best team to be playing when you're in that sort of position.
No, you're right there. We looked at City's bench against the Arsenal match, and the 9 players we had on our bench, I still think would have given Arsenal's 11 a really good run for the money. So we're quite spoilt for choice, aren't we, when it comes to it? But with Sean Dyche's team, I genuinely think anything can happen. I've got a lot of respect for Sean Dyche. How do you think the game will go tonight, Dan?
Well, I'm expecting City to dominate the possession. I think obviously we'll try and sit back and be robust, like we usually are. But I think ultimately it'll come down to how long we can hold off that first goal. If City get an early goal, then I do fear it could get ugly. If we can hold on for half an hour, first half, maybe even an hour, and that doubt starts to creep into the City players' minds, then you never know. But I think it is one of those games that we'll definitely have to ride our luck if we're going to get something from it.
I've been looking on the news the last couple of weeks, and I keep seeing Burnley pop up. Obviously, a Northwest club. I've got a lot of liking for Burnley and anyone to be honest with you. So I do follow little bits and pieces. What's the news on Phil Bowsley and Jeff Hendrick for you? Are you expecting them to feature tonight? Because there's question marks about a lot of players signing new contracts, isn't there?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting situation. I think the chairman is only willing to give out short-term extensions at the minute because no one really knows how the pandemic's going to affect us financially, and I can sort of understand it because we are a club that has to be sensible with our finances, but Sean Dyche obviously wants to get those longer-term contracts offered and to be able to plan for the future, and with Bardsley and Hendrick as well, they're 2 players who have featured regularly this season. So I think honestly, no one really knows if they're going to feature tonight. I don't think anyone really has a clue what is happening with them. But I think if they certainly play tonight, it would be a good sign that they've possibly been able to get them tied down to longer term. But I think it's just a case of waiting and see, really.
It's a funny one, isn't it, with players? I always look towards the manager. It's the manager's contract situation, and he's up for renewal soon as well, isn't he? Are they waiting for him to work out what he's doing before they sign, do you think?
I'm not sure when his contract's due, to be honest, but I know that he is. He did renew. I think it was last year.
Right. Okay.
So I don't think there's much danger of it running out at any time in the near future. But you never know when you hear kind of he's obviously voiced his frustrations about this contract situation, and you always hear rumours with certain clubs taking an interest in him, which is obviously no surprise with the job that he's done. I think he's been at the club for 7-8 years now, and the difference is just absolutely crazy. So yeah, I think it is always something that Burnley fans have to kind of accept, that eventually a bigger club might come along, and you couldn't really complain if he wanted to take that opportunity and kind of further his career.
Yeah, I get that. Dan, my dad. Hi, mate.
Yes.
Sergio's got a good record against Burnley. I am fully expecting him to start tonight. What's your thoughts on the team we're going to play today?
I agree with you. Stones is still injured. Garcia got that knock, so I don't think they'll be featuring. I think Sergio will start, Sterling will start, Mahrez, De Bruyne, possibly Rodri, and I think he's going to keep Mendy and Walker. So it's just if David Silva or Bernardo Silva starts in centre midfield with Kevin De Bruyne. But I'm expecting some big goals tonight. Definitely big. I'm expecting a lot of goals.
Look at your face. Look at your face. I don't like it when you get this confident, Dan. It never makes sense. Dan, Clarets Dan. He's just mentioned. I'm putting myself on your shoulders here. Listening to this, and he's just mentioned Sterling, De Bruyne, Sergio Aguero, Walker, Rodri, and you must be thinking to yourself, what do you think the score is going to be tonight, mate? Because you can't look at this squad City have got and think you're going to win. I'm very pessimist when it comes to City. Anything can happen in football. Until the final whistle's gone and we've got more goals than you have, that's the only time that I consider City winning the match. So I'm looking at this thinking our squad is much better than the Burnley. So I'm trying to be as respectful as I can here. But who's going to be your outstanding players tonight that's going to stop City and going to hurt City? Who are you looking forward to watching tonight at Burnley and taking on City?
Well, I think obviously it's an interesting one because form kind of goes out the window with the big gap that we've had in the season. But before the lockdown, we were playing really well actually defensively. Players like Tarkowski, Charlie Taylor, obviously Ben Mee, of course, a former City player. We are without Chris Wood, who has been our top scorer this season. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I'd imagine Jay Rodriguez will lead the line on his own, but possibly Matty Vidra could play. Rodriguez has had a good season, to be fair. He's since coming back to the club. It took a bit of time to get back into the side, but I think he's been a very consistent performer, and he's popped up with some quality goals as well. And I think another player you have to look at is Dwight McNeil. He is a real talent, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if he goes on to bigger things. He's just got that quality, you know. He can pop up with a brilliant shot or a decisive through ball or something like that, just making things happen. So I think he's definitely one to watch.
Are you expecting to win your battles in the last half an hour of this game then? Are you expecting to hold us off as long as possible and nick one or two? Or are you hoping for a draw tonight? Where does your heart lie?
I think when you go to a place like the Etihad, that is probably usually going to be the goal to take it towards those latter stages. Without sounding negative, you know, if you can get to the 80th minute and you can be still in the game, then that's not a bad position to be in at all, really. And then obviously you can try and go on from there. But I think again, it is going to be one of those games where for us set pieces will be key, and just making the most of the time we do get on the ball, really, and giving the defence a bit of a break.
I want to talk to you about goalkeepers right now because it's been announced that Joe Hart's going to be leaving your guys soon on a free. Lots of love for Joe from the blue side of Manchester. Nick Pope is always going to be a tough goalkeeper to beat for any number 2 or number 3 coming in. How highly do you rate Nick Pope and what can he do with his career? Because, you know, I used to play net a few times. I used to like being a goalkeeper. I've got a lot of admiration. I watch goalkeepers an awful lot how they do, and I rate him. But what's your thoughts of Nick?
Yeah, I think he's absolutely brilliant. When he first broke out into the side, we really needed him to step up. We had a bad injury to Tom Heaton, and he just, you know, straight away came in and just calmed any worries that we had. And then he got injured, of course, but he's bounced back from that. And I think, he's, in terms of his, you know, dealing with crosses, commanding his box, I don't think there's anyone better in the Premier League. He's obviously a big guy, and he really, really dominates in the air. I think the only area that could hold him back, as a lot of Burnley fans talk about, is his kicking. It's not too big of an issue as opposed to if he was at a club like City, where he's obviously trying to play it out from the back. But yeah, I think that is one area that he could work on. But yeah, in terms of how good he's been the last season, I think he's definitely deserves to be getting praise and to be looked at as someone who could go on to bigger and better things.
From a Burnley point of view, how have you seen Joe Hart?
I think he's been quite unlucky, to be honest, because when he came in, Heaton was sort of he was injured, but it was not a long-term one, so there was already a bit of a battle going on. And to be honest, the side were very poor when Hart came in, and I think he was a little bit of a scapegoat in a way because there were some games, he was keeping us in it. He was playing well. Obviously, he did make some mistakes, but I think when Heaton came back into the side and results picked up, it wasn't because he was playing particularly better. It was just because he was the club captain. He had that relationship with the back four, and I think it just really kind of like going back to basics. It just had that impact on the squad. And then since then, obviously Heaton's left, but Pope has come back, and with the form he's been in, it's very hard for Hart to get his place back. But I think he's well respected at the club. There's been a few players talking about the influence he's had in training and his conduct and everything. He's always a model professional. So I think it is a bit of bad luck really that's cost him at Burnley. It was always going to be a big ask with the strength of the goalkeeping department, and sadly for him, it's not worked out.
Did Joe Hart sort of lose respect at Burnley fans when he were like touting for another club on BT Sport? Or I've seen a lot of at the time.
Yeah, I think there were a few fans like on Twitter and stuff complaining, but I think the majority understand it. To be fair, like where the position he's in, yeah.
You can kind of understand.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I think.
It's hard to know where he's going to go next.
Yeah, he never should have joined, to be honest, because when a player like Hart becomes available in the short term, like you could totally see why Dyche wanted him, but it was never going to work out in the long term. So I think it was I think it was really unfortunate, to be honest, because there were some games, honestly, when he was in the side for a few months where he was probably the only player who was performing. I mean, the side were absolutely dreadful.
Crikey,
he had a good game against us. I know I think he conceded 5, but he did play well against us.
Yeah, he had some good games, yeah. And just
it's nice though that in it, just wanting to bring like a senior.
Yeah, I think when a player like that comes up, it's no surprise really that he was a bit keen on bringing him in. Yeah.
Okay then, chaps. What we're looking at scorelines tonight. Dan Halifax. How do you think we're going to fare tonight, pal?
I'm going to say 3-0. And like you say, I've got a bit of a soft spot for Burnley. I remember when we drew 3-3 with you when you just got promoted. And but I can't see it. You've played at Etihad 5 times since Pep Guardiola took over. We scored 19 and we only conceded 2 in 5 games. So I think you're going to struggle tonight, but so I'm going to go 3-0.
Was it Brady that scored for you last time? 4-1, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Last minute, 93rd minute, something silly, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I
think. So, Dan, how do you reckon you'll fare tonight?
Yeah, I think I'd definitely settle for a respectable 3-1 or something like that. I think the fact that City have that game already, could be a bit of an issue for us. But at the same time, you never know when you can when you if you can keep the goals out for, like I said earlier, for half an hour or so, maybe longer. You're always in with at least a small chance. So yeah, I think I will go with a 3-1, but I think it's one of those games that if it does turn into a 4 or 5-0, you could certainly understand why. So yeah, I think hopefully Burnley can just obviously keep it a competitive game.
There is a potential for you to leapfrog Arsenal, Palace and Tottenham tonight if you win and get into 8th spot. So you've got to hold a bit of a candle for that.
Well, it's not much when you overtake Arsenal anyway. They're just a young average side now, aren't they?
Oh, bless you. Listen, lads, thanks so much for your time. It was just a quick one. Hey, can we have a chat to you after the game at some point and see what your thoughts are?
Yeah, that would be great, yeah.
Fantastic. I'll have a chat to you later, buddy. Thanks, the Dans. I'll see you very soon.
Thanks.
Cheers, lads. Bye.